Don't trip, you know? I know things is hard right now. You looking for a job, you out there hustling. Money gon' come your way, just don't trip. Gotta keep your shoes tied.
Well, last night I talked to somebody who I was told works for TMZ. And evidently TMZ was pressured by law enforcement to take down a picture of F. Gary Gray consulting with a police officer.
Every day in the hood is the same thing. Young niggas in the streets trying to gang bang, selling crack in them packs trying to maintain.
And they were told to remove the photo, and they did. And I'm going to show you the photo here. This relates to Suge Knight's case and how this relates to Tupac, how this relates to Russell Poole. I'm going to kind of spell this out here. I set up a meeting for Russell to go meet with sheriff's homicide investigators, and Russell died in that meeting. One of the things Russell wanted to accomplish at that meeting was he wanted to apologize to Suge Knight, and he wanted to enlist Suge Knight's cooperation in solving the Tupac and Biggie murders. That was the purpose of his meeting. We had both had a conversation with Suge Knight's lawyer, who had confirmed that the contents of the confession letter were true, and that was indeed what happened the night that Tupac and Suge were targeted in Las Vegas. So this situation with Suge, I mean, clearly Russell dying in the meeting, the sheriffs did not want to see Suge Knight go free. They then enlisted the help of Danny Timms, and I'm going to include a link to an article. It's a confidential memo from the investigator in the Danny Timms case that I got a copy of, and I'm going to publish that so you guys can see it. And Danny Timms was enlisted by the sheriffs to lie about Suge Knight. And I'm going to also include a link to the Danny Timms interview so that you guys can listen in to what Danny Timms had to say to the investigators. But here's my big question to you. Suge Knight is now indicted for making a threat on F. Gary Gray's life. And my question is really simple. Why is F. Gary Gray's life more important than the life of R.J. Bond, than my life, than the life of Omar Bradley? Reggie Wright Jr. has made numerous threats, and including to Kevin Hackie, and including to Frank Alexander. There were numerous death threats that have been made by Reggie Wright Jr., and I just have this one question. Why are all of these lives less important than the life of F. Gary Gray? Why is it that Suge Knight gets indicted for making a threat against F. Gary Gray, but Reggie Wright Jr. has been able to run around for years and make threats to whoever he wanted to threaten? He threatened Frank Alexander. He threatened Kevin Hackie. He said to Kevin Hackie, I can have you killed at any time. He threatened R.J. Bond. He threatened me. Why are our lives less important than F. Gary Gray? Why is it that Suge gets indicted and Reggie Wright Jr. never gets indicted, no matter what he does in terms of threatening people's lives? And finally, it's a case out of Memphis, someplace way far away, could be Jupiter as far as we're concerned, that finally has the courage to indict Reggie Wright Jr. And we applaud the law enforcement people back there who had the courage to indict Reggie Wright Jr. Now we just need to see this through. We need to make sure that the indictment sticks and that there's not some kind of special deal that gets offered. And again, my question, why indict Suge Knight, but not indict Reggie Wright Jr. for making similar threats against numerous people? Why is the life of F. Gary Gray seen pictured here, colluding with law enforcement? And we see from the Danny Tims that the sheriffs want Suge Knight bad. They were going to prove their criminal intent by hiring a confidential informant to lie about Suge Knight. That case is falling apart. This is a developing story. We're not sure how it's all going to end up. The trial isn't supposed to happen until January. That's a long way off. By the time this trial does happen, they will have taken 3 years of Suge Knight's life. And I'm not saying that Suge Knight is some Boy Scout that's never done anything in his life, but he also did 9 years for a probation violation for kicking somebody.
I hope you really feel what you really feel. Do what you do to make money just to pay your bills. It's messed up, they don't want to see us going forward. Making sure I hold down the last name doors. It's been wild like a wild force, but I bet God got something better for us. We just gotta get together. Unity is everything. To my people, man, struggle been real too long. Our OGs been doing, so it's time for us to make a change. And I promise I'm not gonna die until I change this. I got a baby girl in this world, so I ain't got no choice. Y'all either gonna take me out or ride with me, and I put that on everything.
Hard times and haters, yeah, but that's okay. I'm a hustler, and that won't change. Hustling.